Hi everyone, so welcome back to another video, and it's going to be a debate on smacking children.
Yeah.
Today I am joined by my sister Lisa. Hopefully today goes better than the last one we made. Words just weren't flowing out my mouth properly at all, and she won't stop laughing.
Let's hope there's no word slurs today.
If there's a word slur, we're just gonna move past it.
If we can.
Yeah.
Without.
Any mistakes we're just gonna keep in, because otherwise we'll never get around to doing this video. She's looking at me. I don't know. So, do you want to start off, or do you want me to start off?
You can start.
Okay, so I find myself having a debate with myself, because there's certain things that I agree with, and then certain things I don't, and then I question them. Like, me personally don't agree with smacking your child, but then it's never done me any harm. At the same time. But also there's kids out there who get away with murder, the naughty, I don't know, I'm sort of on the fence, but more so not smack them. But then I have got things for smack, but I don't really agree. I don't know.
See, one thing I will say is, when you see a gang of youths being troublesome or whatever, what is the first thing majority of people tend to say? That kid needs a what?
A good smack.
So obviously we do think it was all sudden, otherwise we wouldn't suggest it when you see these gangs of youths being buggers, should we say, to keep it PG.
Yeah, family friendly channel, guys.
I personally agree with it. I do think, obviously, if you are going to smack your child, there needs to be a lot of guidelines to it. Never in temper.
No.
Let's define a smack. Always open-handed, buttocks, thigh, back and hands. Never killed fist. Like we said, never in temper, never in anger.
No.
Always just, if you're going to use smacking as a form of discipline, you need to have your own guidelines for yourself and your own rules in place.
Okay, can I just say, those are the very fine line what we're talking about. We're talking about smacking your children for discipline. We're not talking about child abuse.
No.
We're not talking about just giving a child a good hiding. We're talking about a smack to use in the disciplinary sense.
Yeah.
So that is what we're saying today. So when we've got people saying, I agree with hitting a child, we are talking about, like you said, how you do it.
Yeah.
And the circumstances you do it.
Yeah.
In a disciplinary way.
Definitely.
Not in child abuse.
Definitely.
Just get that out.
No.
The very fine line between the two.
Yeah, that's it.
And obviously the laws on smacking your child now is a little bit, I think as a parent you have the right to choose how you discipline your child.
Yeah. I understand that the laws are put into place to safeguard your children because of all the horrific things you hear about parents that have, really abused their child. Do you know what I mean? But, like we said, we're discussing a smack. Like, the smack we were brought up on, it was a smack. It was never with a weapon, it was never in temper, it was never killed fist, it was a smack to the back of the thigh or the buttock.
See, I think the thing I think about smacking is, if you're showing your child that it is okay to smack someone, I think that's one thing that does put me on smacking your kid. I do, violence shows violence, and violence copies violence, so does. I'm kind of like...
But in that same sense, is it not teaching your child that, okay, yeah, you're going to get smacked, but it's not going to break. You're not going to break. You're not made of glass. So it gives them that self-confidence of, if somebody's going to hit them, they're going to hit back. That's my biggest fear, is that someone who maybe a child who does get smacked, and if I didn't smack my child, I'm not saying this by any means, by the way, that let's smack our children to toughen them up, but in doing so. Like,
it's toughening them up.
Yeah.
You mean? They're not going to be scared.
yeah, like when we were children, and if I went in crying to my mum, which I did a lot, and said, oh, such and such has just hit me, mum's response was, either you go and hit them back, or I'll smack you now. That's up to you. Go and hit them back, or I'll hit you. Because you have to learn to stick up for yourself, and God forbid, especially in this day and age, it's getting worse.
I think that's what it is. I think it's the times now, that times change, because we used to get a smack, and it wasn't against the law. There was no, the safeguarding wasn't really there then. But this is where I'm on the fence, because I don't agree with it, but then I know that by getting a smack we had more respect as children.
Exactly.
And we respected our parents, and we respected our elders more.
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking about 30, 40, 50 years ago, you used to get, like, people would say, oh God, my mum and dad should give me a good beating.
Yeah.
But I had so much respect for them. And I think crime's gone up as well now.
Yeah. Because to
people
me,
are
kids
scared
generally
of discipline.
rule the world now.
Yeah.
They do. Kids have almost got too much rights, too many rights.
I agree
and the
with
parents are left with none. The teachers are scared to yell so much as the kids, or upset the kids in any way, because kids will be kids, and for all you know, a teacher can't even put a hand on a pupil. The way, again, when we were in primary school, especially I remember primary, if we were being disruptive, our teacher would grab our arm and not yank us or drag us, but grab the wrist and escort you out. And just that physical contact of the teacher would make you go, oh, I'm in so much trouble, oh my goodness, oh, what am I going to do? And now a teacher can't so much as lay not so much your finger on a pupil without worrying or the risk of losing their job and getting done for child abuse themselves or assault on a minor. I believe children have got too many rights. Understandably, like I said, the day to safeguard these children, and that I completely understand. But just because other parents in the past, present and probably the future, have, abused their position as parents, safeguarder, protector, discipline, everything. Because some parents have abused that, it doesn't mean that all parents will. So I believe we should be able to smack our children, again, with our own guidelines set. Everyone's guidelines, if not. Never in temper, never a curled fist, never with any sort of weapon. It's a bare open hand.
So we're saying this basically smack, last resort.
Yeah.
But as a warning to behave rather than to hurt them.
Yeah. Shock factor of I've been smacked now, so that's my boundary. I've gone too far.
I think one of the reasons why I don't agree with smacking, I mean, I agree with a tap as a warning.
Yeah.
When you see people outside and you see them smack the kid, and your heart just goes out to that kid.
Or 4 and 5 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it
and
looks
there's
so
no need
horrible
for that.
and it looks so sad that I think it put me off smacking.
Yeah. No,
but then how do you like I said, I understand. I have a debate with myself, because I understand that there has to be discipline, and I understand that when we were younger it didn't hurt us and it made us better people and more respectful to people.
Yeah.
But then again, now it is, you can't discipline your child however you want because of, being scared of being reported. Like, I think even a lot of people are scared to take the children to the hospital nowadays if they've had an accident.
Yeah. If they've got an injury that you can't explain, you're in big trouble.
But then how do you sort of separate just being a disciplinary to your child by slapping them or smacking them or whatever? Because it's not a punch, it's not a hit, it's a slap.
Yeah,
it's just a smack. At the end of the day, it's like you said, it's just
an open palm to the side or the buttock.
But how do you know if it's just that or the child is getting more than that?
Exactly.
Rather than just not allow people to do it all together.
I feel that's where there needs to be.
I think if you're going to beat your child, whether or not it's against the law to smack a child, they're going to do it. It's against child abuse, is against law anyway, and people still do it. It's full stop. People still do it. But
you're always going to come across them types of situations, them types of parents, them types of people. You know, you get teachers who abuse their position, and anyone in any profession, any situation, abuse the position or whatever, being a parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's where, again, there needs to be more services available for children and more, you know, like pals, trust.
But then isn't
figures.
that giving them that power again to be able to go, well, I'm just going to go with this person, I'm going to go with that person, you can't do this, you can't say that to
It
me.
is, yeah, in a sense it is. But as I said, all we've got to look at is, everyone says, oh, in this day and age it's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. But in my eyes, that's because as parents and teachers who enforce discipline on children,
we're having that power slightly taken away from us.
We're losing that. And these children, look what happens when your children are left to roam free. When you see children acting out or doing horrible things and you go, where are the parents?
Oh yeah,
where are the bloody hell
I
are the parents?
always say the child's behaviour is based on how they've been brought up by the parents. And I do think...
It is a reflection on your parents.
No, it
and
is.
I'm sorry,
and I
it
do
is.
really think that if a child is acting out or a child's naughty, then there's no discipline at home.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't do it because we'd be scared of getting in trouble. We'd be scared of getting that slap backside.
Mum only used to have to say to us, we'd be out in the shop creating, fighting as always, faffing about. And Mum would only have to say to us, you wait till we get home. And for the rest of the day, whether it be 5 hours, only half an hour, for the rest of the day, we would be like little angels sent from heaven. We would be the perfect little girls you've ever seen. Just because, can we just add, nothing ever did happen when we got home. But because we was brought up with smacking, we knew what she would do if she meant it.
Yeah.
If she meant it, we knew we were getting a smack and we didn't want it. So we'd behave.
It's following through with that.
Exactly.
With that threat,
so people, I don't understand people, by the way, who say, oh, I don't believe in smacking. I threaten my child with it, but I never go through with it. Well, what you're doing is you're giving your child empty threats. You're showing your child that you don't mean what you say, which then, in my eyes, makes your child push the boundaries even further, because they go, yeah, but she always says that, and she never does it.
You have to follow through with anything. Any punishment you say. You have to follow. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Whether it's confiscation.
See, I'm more of a confiscator.
Confiscate.
I'm more of a screamer.
You're a screamer.
I'm a screamer. I shout and scream. But then again, I always think if a smack is the last resort, when it's your last resort, that's when you're more angry and frustrated because you tried everything. And
see, but then again, like my daughter, I say to her, you carry on, I'm going to smack you. And she goes, go on then. So because she said it, I have to do it. So I will get a little smack on the thigh, never hard again. And you know, it's not hard because she looks at me and she goes, that didn't even hurt.
It's supposed to be that scare factor. It's not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to,
it's not
cause
supposed to
harm.
be vicious. And,
it's supposed to be scare. See, this is when I am split. I know you are totally for smacking, and I will turn around and I'll say I am totally against it. But then in discussion, I'm like, okay, but then maybe I'll be for it in this sense.
Yeah.
So I'm completely on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm on the fence. Should we hear what other people have to say?
Yeah.
Let's hear what other people have had to say. But yeah, I'll have a full on debate with myself, and I will be for both because I'm just so.
Like I said, I can't understand what's wrong with smacking. The only thing I can understand
it's having
is the
boundary.
abuse, but that's what I mean. We're not talking, as you stated earlier.
No.
We're not talking about let's all go home and beat our children senseless.
No.
We're talking about a smack. Same thing we were brought up on. Same thing. Again, I will input it with my child, but never aggressively and not. I wouldn't even say she gets smacked so much as once a week, because she knows not to get to that point. If I can prevent it, so. I will prevent it. If I can deal with it in other strategies, I will.
Yeah.
But if I can't, and the last thing to come out of my mouth is, if you don't stop it, I'm going to smack your bottom.
She can't win.
And she goes, go on then. Or, Sometimes she'll say, no, mummy, don't smack. And I say, well, you going to be a good girl? And she goes, yeah. It works. Sometimes I don't have to smack her just because I've took the step to smack her bottom in the past. She knows I'll do it, and she knows she doesn't like it half the time.
See, I can agree.
So she'll stop before we get there. I can
agree with everything that you're saying, and on the other hand, I can say, but I still don't agree with smacking. I don't know. Like I said, I can sit there and have a debate with myself. There's kids out there where, you do, who are terrorising people, and I'm thinking that, we're the parents. Why aren't the parents doing anything?
My motto is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if it was good enough for me, and my mum, well, our mum, our nan, her mum,
but this is what,
it's a long line, but it's toned down so much that there's nothing anymore.
As you go further back and further back, it was more than just a slap. Yeah. And it was normal to give your kid a few good fights. The cane in school. Yeah. All this was normal back in the day. And like you said, I think it is because the kids are getting the power now, and they're not generally scared of us because they know that we're not allowed to do things.
We should fear them, because what's to stop them from turning around and going,
it's sort of, but I also think as well, your kids shouldn't have to need a smack if they're brought up to respect people and they're brought up to be good. And I know all kids have naughty moments.
Yeah, every child. I don't believe anyone who says, "Oh, my child's good."
But at the same time, I kind of think that if your child is always needing to be smacked, are you doing something wrong as a parent to make them act like that?
Quite possibly, yeah. Well, I suppose as parents we've always got to ask that question.
But this is where I'm on the fence, because I've got that in my head, but then I've got when we were kids and it didn't hurt us and didn't do any other harm, and it made us respect other people. And luckily enough, like I said, I didn't turn out to be violent and think that it was okay to smack other people. But then I think, okay, if I smack my child, will my child think that, it's okay to smack another child because that's the norm to them?
It is, yeah, maybe so, quite possibly.
But then again, that's showing them
in the sense of
you're bringing them up properly to
you're
respect
also
other people.
Teaching your child that that's how it can be settled. Nowadays, kids, they don't get smacked anymore. They're playing violent games or watching, by admission, what parents let them watch, whether it's just a simple action film, Transformers, they use, and
superheroes,
they use weapons and things like that.
There's violence in all kids.
Because you're not not because you're not smacking your child, but because they're watching this, they think everything can be settled with a weapon. Oh, let's pull a knife and stab someone. Let's buy guns and shoot each other. Whereas back in our day, you only needed your hands to settle it.
Yeah.
And then once you did that as well, it was forgotten. You had your little fight and you moved on.
We really could go on about this.
I could because there's so many points
This has been a debate though now for nearly a week since I was asked to do this debate.
And we can't even have just a general phone conversation, how are you, without going into it somehow.
No. Right, so we'll go into these comments now, and we've got Bamagirl Amy saying, I believe in spanking as long as you are calm when you do it.
Thank you.
Which we've said that, haven't we?
There. Yeah, you must be calm. Must be.
And then...
I think that's when it falls into the abuse category. If you're hitting your child in temper...
Well, I believe it's abuse. It's abuse. You can't control yourself because you're
taking your aggression out on your child, and that your child isn't a punch bag. They're not there for that.
No.
So I believe that's when it falls into the abuse category.
Okay. We've got Dulce Gomez. She put, I believe in spanking your child. If your child needs it, it's fine. But I also believe you should definitely spank them in the right place, the bottoms or the back of the hand, which we stated before.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure they are disciplined when they are young, otherwise you'll have a child that doesn't respect you later on in life, thinking they can get away with anything. And in public, if my child chooses to disrespect me, I have the right to whoop his little butt in public as well. I think it's good education to teach everyone it's okay to spank your child in public if they need it. It's really, like I said, I can go for both sides. I choose not to spank my child. Don't get me wrong, he'd had a smacked thigh or a smacked bum when he was younger. But I think, but then again, it could be that he's had that smack bum that he doesn't need it now.
Can I just point something out very quickly though? People are so quick to quote and go, oh, but there's time out, there's the thinking chair, there's the naughty step. And you see it on programmes on TV, like guide programmes to help you and stuff. I'm not going to name any in particular, but we all know the ones. Oh, put them on the... If they get off, take them back.
That
are
poor
you not
parent
are
is
you,
getting
not just
stressed.
That, are
the
you
child's
not
getting
marking
stressed.
your child
You're grabbing
when you're
them.
grabbing their arms and dragging them to the chair or the stair? Because I've tried it. I've tried
tried that myself, yeah.
And when my little girl's arms are red raw and she's hyperventilating and choking herself and red for her face, crying because she's so frustrated that I'm putting her there and she can't. By the time we've got her on the step or the chair, she's forgot what she did anyway.
It's done.
Straight
over.
up,
She's got over it.
I didn't like that. I won't do that again.
See, I'm so on the fence. I just.
Because I've tried time out and it's hard.
It's hard
way.
And
it's frustrating and it's tiring.
For both of you.
Yeah.
But thank you for them 2 comments. Oh, we've got Nesta Bug, and she's put, I think smacking your child is okay if you are calm and they are aware of what they're doing wrong. The few times I have smacked my child out of frustration on her or my part, it has escalated out of control and not helped anything. Let alone made me feel awful. If you make her aware of her wrongdoing and count to 3, then smack her, but she understands and learns we can control the situation, which is what we've just said there, isn't it?
It's instant penny drop in the head. The penny drops and they go, oh, lights on. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And mummy must have done that because she didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I won't do that again, so I don't get that again.
Right, thank you for that comment. Peter Cowie. Oh God, father to 7. That's a lot of butts to smack.
Hats off to you alone.
I could go on all day about this topic. Well, obviously join the club.
Yeah.
I used to teach how to discipline your child for work, but as a father of 7, I have changed my views over the years. Again, this is where times have changed. Around 30 years ago, when I was a young dad, I thought it was okay to smack, but I found the problem was, especially for men, is when you smack in anger, you don't know your own strength, and that is when it can get physical rather than a tap. Since that time, though, trying different things, I have found you can discipline, bless you, in many other ways rather than smacking. And when we smack, we must think, what is the message we are sending to the child? And if he smacks another child, can we blame him? After all, parents are the greatest role models to a child. I could go on forever about the subject, but definitely a very hot topic. Yeah.
And that's all we want, is we just want to state an opinion so everyone knows they've got their right to their opinion.
At the end of the day, it's your child. And as long as you're not physically hating or emotionally hating your child, then you have the right to decide how you discipline your child. Like I said, I have my thoughts and my views on the subject, but then I also agree with everybody else's views.
Yeah.
But I do think every person's different, every situation's different, and every child is different. Everyone's parents is...
The only thing that stays the same is never vent off your own frustration onto your children. Even if your child, you say, oh, but my child's causing the frustration. Your child didn't ask to be here. You wanted them. If your child's frustrating you, that's for you to take their frustration and your own and work it out.
There's obviously children aren't just naughty just to be naughty. There's a reason behind the way they act. Obviously, it's just especially very young children who can't explain the way they feel and they act out. So if you as a parent need to find out the reason why they're upset or the reason why they're acting out or the reason why they've been naughty, because you never know, it could be down to you as the parents who's
I just think that regardless of agreeing with smacking, disagreeing with smacking, that is the only message I feel I could generally
against or not against.
If you're going to smack your child, even if you don't agree with it and just for that split second you smack your child, please don't do it in anger.
One tap.
That's why I agree with the lady who said about the count to 3. Because it gives you 3
That
seconds
warning.
to pause
Yeah.
yourself. 1, 2.
Who was that? Was
3.
that... Is that Dulce? Or was that Nesta? That was Nesta.
Nesta.
Was it? Yeah, Nesta.
Very good
Nesta
comment. On point with that. On point. Spot on.
Yeah. We've got Nesta book. So thanks to Peter, Nesta, Dulce and Bama Girl Amy. Thanks for contributing to our little debate, and to be fair,
we hope you carry on.
We hope you want to leave your own comments and your own thoughts and your own opinions. Nobody's opinion is wrong, so I don't want anybody arguing. Everyone has the right. You carried your child, you gave birth to your child. Your right to what you do to your child, I think, is 100% your right, as long as there's no emotional or physical damage. And can we just show this little one here? Say hello! This is my niece and this is her daughter. This is Thea. We are, that's it, we're going to do a video about Thea on premature babies, because
she's 7 months old.
She's 7 months old.
And she might look big, but these are only 3 to 6 months close.
She was how much premature?
11 weeks.
11 weeks. So we will do a little prem baby video sometime through the week.
I know how you feel, Premier Mummies, it's hard.
So thank you everybody for joining us and watching. If you did enjoy the video, give us a thumbs up. If you've got a comment, definitely make that comment below.
If you feel we've missed any valid points out.
Which we probably have, because we've just rambled. It's just all our thoughts. We've just spewed out here. Like I said, we could go on all day with even more things to say, but you probably will be getting bored by now, because this has been...
If you wasn't bored 10 minutes
This has been it's like the longest video I've ever done, because it's a subject that you could go on about for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will leave it there, but thanks everybody so much for... If you're still watching anyway, 27 minutes in, if you are still watching, thank you very much. Well done. Thank you very much.
You survived.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.